Hi everybody, I'm Tim from troutandfeather.com, and as you can see, we have a special guest on this episode. This is Mats, and I'm in Iceland right now. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. Mats, will you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi everybody, I'm Mats Ole Hertz. I'm a fly fishing guide and I work for Fish Partner in Iceland.
He's not just a fly fishing guide, he is a professional guide. Now remember that because we're going to be talking about some pro tips. We're going to be giving them tips about Tippet today, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, stay tuned. You're going to love this one. All right, Mats, let's just jump right into this. What's the first tip you have for everybody?
My first tip when it comes to tippet is when I start tying tippet on my tapered leader or whatever, I leave the tippet spool usually in my chest pack or in your hip pack, whatever you use. Then I tie the knot on the tippet and then in the end I cut the tippet off. That avoids letting the tippet fly away or whatever.
It does a lot of stuff. Now, by the way, we were out, and I can't remember who noticed that, but somebody said, like, did you see the way Mats tied on my blood knot whenever you tied their leader to a piece of tippet? And I was like, no, tell us. So over dinner one night, we're in Iceland right now. We're hosting a trip, but over dinner, we're talking about this knot that Mats did, and it was really slick because, I don't know about all of you, but whenever I go to tie a piece of tippet, I take my tippet off the tippet spool, I cut it, I get my blood knot and I connect it to whatever I have, either a tippet ring or my tapered leader or something. I'm sure you've all been there with me. Just like Mats said, you let go, the piece of tippet goes flying away. The other thing I like about you doing that, if you're not quite sure how long it needs to be, you're not cutting it. You're not like wasting some.
That's right.
You can still extend it or shorten it and then make that cut. Let's continue on. And this next tip, this is one I love because it deals with something that I use all the time. Take it away, Mats.
For all my fishing, I usually use a tippet ring. For still water fishing in lakes, running water, streamers, nymphs, dry flies, I usually equip all my leaders with a tippet ring. If I have my 9-foot leader for dry fly fishing, for example, I put a tippet ring in the end and then I tie on a little tag about 5 inches, not too long. If it's like longer than 5 inches, it pretends more to tangle. So for example, I have a dry fly there on my tippet ring on the little tag. And then I go another 2 feet or whatever, depends on the water, with a little nymph behind that on the like as a little anchor, dry dropper.
Yeah.
And then what I also do is when I tie on the tag, I put the knot between the nymph with nymph tippet and the dry fly tippet, because then you even get less tangled.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Tippet rings are great. I don't know about you. I use them all the time.
Yeah.
We were talking about Euro nymphing.
Yeah.
There's just something that's really nice because you can have your leader set to whatever specifications you want, have a tippet ring, and you're never cutting your leader back.
No.
So it's always going to be that length, and you just add tippet there. Have you ever fished 2 dries off of that, or is that something too much weight, or what's your opinion on that?
No, that works as well.
It would work too.
That works good. And for Euro nymphing, you have less waste and you save tippet, you save material. That's perfect.
And I like the fact that, as Mats is mentioning, whenever you have your dropper that's coming off, we'll say 5 inches, something like that, it's not going to be snagging, it's not going to be twisting as much, it's not going to be, just getting caught up with your point fly, which is the fly that's a little bit further down.
Yeah.
And you said we're at 5 inches, that's about your money zone.
Yeah, 5 inches is good. And what's also important, in my opinion, if you fish, let's say we're coming back to Euro nymphing, if you fish 2 nymphs, 1 anchor nymph and then 1 dropper, like unweighted or just little weight on it, make sure that you have on the dropper, for example, a 3x tippet, and then on the anchor fly a 4x tippet, because in case you hook a fish on the dropper and your anchor fly gets caught in a rock in the bottom, whatever, that tippet will break and you won't lose a fish.
That's a sneaky little tip, too. I love that tip. Now, you also mentioned fishing 2 streamers. So you'll fish 2 streamers off a rig like this.
Yeah, we do that, for example, in, like, I guess you can do it for saltwater fishing. You use a bigger streamer as, like, your anchor, like your main fly.
Yeah. And
then you fish a little shrimp, for example, as a dropper. Works also totally fine.
Wow, I love that idea.
Just remember with a bigger tippet ring, maybe.
That's for sure. And I will jump in here and I'll say, not all tippet rings are created equal. And there's many companies out there that say it's a 2mm tippet ring. I've measured them. They're not all 2 millimeters. So just kind of know that you tend to get what you pay for. However, look down below. There's a link in the description. I'll lead you to some good tippet rings I've had experience with over the years. All right, Mats, before I pick your brain about more, we'll say pro tips, let's introduce everybody to you. So you're from Germany originally.
Yes.
You are now guiding in Iceland, which is awesome. Tell us a little bit about Iceland. What's your favorite fish to chase? Like, what do you love so much about being in this area?
My favorite fish is definitely the sea trout or sea run brown trout.
And they're looking at a picture of a couple of the ones that we got over the last 2 days. Thank you for
There
those.
we go.
We got it. We got some of these sea run brown trouts.
Yes. So that's definitely my favorite fish. And my favorite thing about guiding in Iceland is what makes it so nice here is that everything is private. Everything is well organized by outfitters, or every river has rod limits. Every lake has rod limits. So you're out guiding and you're never bump into somebody else. So there won't be 100 boats on the river. People get the river all by themselves if they want to, which is just makes it easy, makes it nice.
Doesn't always guarantee you're going to catch fish, but you're going to have a really great experience. I've been hosting trips in Iceland. I mean, if you're ever interested in going to Iceland, use me as a resource. I'll try to connect you with Mats as well, because he works for Fish Partner. That's the group that we've been using. That's the outfitter that we've been using over the years. We love coming here. It's not always easy. It seems like some years it's a little bit easier than others. If you hear any background noise, we're dealing with the wind. We've been dealing with the wind all week. This is my second week in Iceland, summer 2022. Last week the wind was okay. We had some bugs. This week we have more wind. We have definitely kind of...
We had to work for it.
We worked for our fish. We caught our fish. We put one foot in front of the other. We got it done. But now let's shift it back. Let's get to some more tips. So we've talked a little bit about like Tippet. Let's go into some quick... I'll just do some quick fire ones. Let's go first. How do you connect your leader to your fly line? What do you prefer?
I prefer definitely perfection loop, like loop to loop connection. That's the easiest, in my opinion, and the cleanest. So
if the fly line has a loop, stick with it. Put a loop in your leader, go that way. Even though I love the nail knot, so we're going to come to blows over this one. There's another knot I have. You'll have to email me for that one, but that's another story. All right, let's keep going. What about knots? If you're connecting dry fly, nymphs, streamers, preferred knots?
For dry flies and nymphs, just the clinch.
Not improved?
Not improved, no. It's okay.
Professional guy. He's using the clinch knot.
It works. It works.
It does. Don't forget, like this video so I can make more videos like this. Now, let's get back to some more tips.
And for streamers or like thicker tippet, I use the uni knot.
Okay.
That's fast knot. You can tie it even when it's dark. So.
And you called it something else. What did you call it originally?
The grinner.
The grinner knot.
Yeah,
so in the United States, we call it the uni. He calls it the grinner. We figured out a way. It holds pretty tight.
Yeah, it holds tight, super easy. And then you also have the double grinner, which I usually use for my tapered leader to connect with tippet. Perfect. Or double uni.
I love it. Yeah, the double uni.
Yeah, double uni. There we go.
All right, let's give him like the $1 million question. Fluorocarbon, monofilament. What do you got here?
Hard question. The nymph fishing, I like to stick with fluorocarbon. Especially when you fish light nymphs and you want to get them down quick and fast current. Thin tippet, thin fluorocarbon works best for me. For example, salmon fishing and also sea run browns. When you dead drift or swing a fly for them, I definitely like to use monofilament because you just have that little stretch, which is important for the hook set and also playing the fish, because salmon, they are not eating while when they enter the river. Sometimes they just hit it a little bit and then you want a little bit of stretch to fight them better, play them better. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing the answer is both.
Yeah.
Your answer is both. Yeah. I love that. And I'm not sure with my own personal opinion. I guess if I'm nymphing, I almost always go fluorocarbon, but now whenever I'm saltwater fishing, I go back and forth. But if I'm dry fly fishing, I still go fluorocarbon. I've been told it sinks a little bit, but I don't mind my leader and my tippet sinking a little bit because I don't want them to spook the fish. And I'm going to dress it anyway.
I sometimes I have fluorocarbon in my chest bag, and I didn't brought my monofilament for dry fly fishing, and then I tie on fluorocarbon. And in the end, I don't think it really matters.
No, I don't think so. I think we care about it a lot more than the fish care about it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
How can people contact you? Instagram? Like, how do you prefer them contact you?
I think Instagram nowadays is the easiest way.
Perfect. So we will put his Instagram name, his handle. It'll be on the screen right now. It'll also be down below in the description of this video. If you're thinking about going to Iceland, like, obviously reach out and ask me a question, but reach out and ask Mats a question as well. He's like the
Yes.
expert here. He's the guide, you know, one of the head guides at Fish Partner. There is no doubt about it. Like, there's a reason that I love to fish with Mats. Next time I'm coming back, he better want to still have me as one of his clients because he just kicked butt. We got brown trout this week, ice age brown trout.
We got them all.
We got everything. We
Sea run
got
brown
char,
trout,
sea
sea run
runs,
char,
salmon.
salmon.
You name it. We're probably
Yeah.
flashing pictures right now. We had a really great week. We got it done. So I hope for those of you who are thinking about going to Iceland, you'll get it done too. But Tippet questions, all these little pro tips, I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, everybody. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
Don't stop the fun yet. I talked about a ton of links and videos during the recording of this one. They're all right here in this playlist. All you have to do, click this playlist, let all that learning continue, enjoy all that information. It's for all of you. You can thank me later.